NOMAD has been in the game for quite a while, and she hasn't really received any major changes to her. And I highly doubt she'll get a rework or a big nerf anytime soon, because no one really has an issue with her, so thankfully this video may stay relevant for a long time. And she's also quite popular among the community. That's mainly due to her very easy to learn loadout. NOMAD can fulfill the roles as a flex and flank watch operator, and she comes with the air jab gadget. Once a defender enters the radius of an air jab, they will be knocked to the ground and completely defenseless, leaving them as an easy kill. However, there is a few ways for the defenders to counter this. Number 1, the air jabs itself make a pretty loud noise. Number 2, they have a bright light on them so a defender can see them from afar. The third real counter kind of relies on the NOMAD player itself. Again, NOMAD is a flank watch operative, so she's either going to place her air jabs below or on top of staircases or doorways. Or, technically you could just throw an impact or any type of explosives at it, and it will also destroy it, but that will make noise and that will give away your position either way. This allows defenders to potentially get angles on the air jabs and shoot it out. This is also the main issue with claymores. Remember that you come with 3 of these, so remember to place them down. A technical another counter to the air jabs is sometimes you'll be able to place them in sight, but if there is an air jab over my magnet, then it will completely counter them. And I mean, to be fair, that is pretty much everything you need to know about the gadget. The only other thing you need to worry about is where the flank rounds actually are. That will come naturally as you play the game, so I wouldn't really worry about it too much. And the only other things to talk about with NOMAD is her loadouts. As for her secondary gadgets, she comes with breach charges and flashbangs. I would recommend usually bringing flashbangs because it is great to clear out any defenders hiding in a corner, to obviously flash them, or to clear out some Jaeger ADSs. But if you need to play vertically, then the breach charges are your best bet. Now, usually you will have a vertical play operator, but they could die out early, so they're kind of nice to have. Now moving on to her guns, which they all have some pretty bad downsides. Starting with her more popular options, she comes with the ARX assault rifle that has up to a 2x scope and pretty easy to control recoil. It does have a pretty solid fire rate with pretty good damage with it. The only downside is it has up to a 21 round mag. Next up, she has the AK-74U. And I'm going to be honest, it's not really that good. It has up to a 2.5 scope, which is pretty good. But it also has a 40 round mag. But it also has a very low fire rate, and the damage doesn't really compensate for it. And the recoil is a bit jumpy, I would say. It's not as bad as I remember. I haven't really used it in a while because of the reasons I mentioned. But after the compensator buff, it does make it slightly better, but overall, I think the ARX is more favorable among the community, I would say. For her secondary option, she comes with a handgun that you can find on Capitol and Tavera, and this is one of my favorite handguns in the entire game because it has solid damage, a pretty good magazine size, and it has a pretty good fire rate as well. Yeah, it's overall a good pistol in my opinion, and like I said, it's one of my favorites. For her other option, she comes with probably my least favorite handgun in the entire game, which is the 44 Magnum. Now, only her and Kaid has access to it, and it's received a lot of nerfs since it came out, mainly to its recoil. It's a pistol, for God's sakes. Why? It also has an ACOG sight for whatever reason, which probably doesn't help its recoil, and it has okay damage to compensate for it, but Jesus. Like, why do I have to pull down with a handgun? That I will never understand. That is pretty much the objective information that I can give on NOMAD, and from my personal opinion, I think she is a very good operator. I say she's in a very good place, and she's also a very fun ranked operator to play. So if you wanted an overall solid operator with a good gadget and good guns with secondary gadgets to complement them, then NOMAD is your best girl. So I suppose this is the end of the video because I have nothing really else to say about NOMAD. If you like what I make, I appreciate it if you subscribe, and if you're interested in any other operators, I have likely covered them in my playlist, so go check that out because you may find your new favorite operator. And one thing I don't typically say at the end of these videos, because some people don't really get this far, but if you do, I would really like to know if you have any criticism with my channel, because any information I can get really does help out. And with all that said, I am Cutter Tony. I hope you have a good day or good night, and goodbye.